Kambaba Jasper is another stone that I'd like to talk about, and Kambaba Jasper mostly comes from Madagascar. It's pretty easy to find, normally in small tumbled stones, but I have a great big palm stone here, and I tried to select stones that would show up easily on the computer screen this evening. But you can see Kambaba Jasper has these really great little eyes, so to speak, and that's because it is a form of rhyolite jasper. Now, from my understanding, many people say that nebula stone is slightly different, but the reason for that is because nebula stone is one of those names that doesn't really tell you about the stone or where it came from or the geographic location where it was found. So that's sort of debatable because when people speak of nebula stone, again, they're usually speaking of, I'm not sure if nebula stone is actually trademarked, but that is a sort of economic name that's been applied to it, and I believe it probably is trademarked. But from my experience in working with a stone that I purchased as a nebula stone and working with the Kambaba Jasper, they have almost the exact same energy. Now, when I picked up this sort of subtle difference on the two pieces I was using, I believe it's because one was rough and one was polished. So I'm not quite sure if that accounts for the difference or not, but in my experience, they are very, very similar with their healing qualities. I think that they are the same stone. The other thing, though, is my nebula stone does have a slightly different pattern on it, but I believe the reason for that is that the nebula stone is actually a lower quality version of what you find in most Kambaba Jasper, so the eyes on the nebula stone were not quite as clear as the ones on the Kambaba Jasper. So for those of you who are interested in the nebula stone versus the Kambaba Jasper, I would suggest the Kambaba Jasper because it's usually a lot less expensive and I think the quality is better, and energetically I haven't really found much difference. So the Kambaba Jasper really enhances your connection with nature as well, and also with the Faery Realm. And the reason for that is because it does have all those great eyes that we spoke of, so you can see all the great little eyes. It's thought that these eyes actually attract fairy energy, so they act like portals or fairy rings that bring that fairy energy into your physical realm where you can use it. So this means accessing it for guidance, similar to how you would access information from the Akashic records or from Ascended Masters. You can actually tune into these fairy beings and ask them for guidance in your life through these portals or fairy rings that are found within the Kambaba Jasper. So sort of an interesting way to use this for a connection with nature, but when you have that connection to beings of the fairy realm, you'll find that your connection with nature and Mother Earth just sort of happens naturally.